Hi, this is Mark Miller. I'm the Phoenix chapter president for Truth at Work, and I'm here to invite you to a June 2nd all-member and guest meeting we're having. At that meeting, you're going to be hearing about the future of Truth at Work from our presidents, Dave Holly and Ron Ewing, and the future of work in an AI age. If that interests you in any way, text me at 480-229-4960. Hope to see you there. You've talked a couple times about Wave 3. Talk about the waves.
I heard this guy, he was an old school Wall Street dude, talk at a dinner I hosted a number of years ago. And when this was just first kicking off in 2022, 2023. And he said, I've seen this pattern twice now before. And he had managed money through computing, through internet, right? So through the computer revolution, the personal computers, right? All the way from IBM, Big Blue.
The Big Blue all the way.
Right, through the internet era, right? AOL, Netscape. And he said they followed very similar patterns. And I suspect this next wave, or this next revolution, if you will.
This AI revolution.
He didn't use predict power, I use predict power as what this is, will be very similar. And he said there's been 3 waves distinctly to each one of these situations. In fact, you could even look back to the Industrial Revolution and see it there too. See, he wasn't managing money. But wave 1 is intense CapEx. I call it the CapEx super cycle. And this is what you see right now. That if you think about the Industrial Revolution, massive amounts of money is pouring into railroad lines, right? We got to get railroad. We must have this infrastructure, okay, right? And this
we haven't figured out how to make money to cover the cost.
But we need massive amounts, right? In computing, right? Everyone was all in on IBM, right? Like the central terminals, right? Like the computers, the mainframes, right? There was massive amounts being poured into this infrastructure to do it. And then, even with the internet era, if you looked at the top stocks in the S&P 500 at the time, it would have been AOL. Cisco stock just now reached back to where it used to be pre-dot-com bust. But there was so much weight put on the infrastructure, the rails that we're going to run on.
In a way, is it betting on the come, if you will? Is it, because take the railroad example, they're putting massive, whatever it was in those days, but let's say billions of dollars in building an infrastructure, but they don't know how long it's going to take to actually get a return on that investment.
No clue. All you know is you lose if you don't try. What's funny now is all these companies that used to be capital-light compounders today, have turned themselves into basically capital-intensive utility companies. They're building data centers left and right with all kinds of different shenanigans of off-balance sheet accounting, by the way, but they're pouring as much money as can possibly be sustained by the economy into having the infrastructure to train models and distribute and run inference on those models and distribute that product. Because they're in a death race at this point. They call them, they've got this new term for all these like top tech companies. They're calling them hyperscalers. If they don't scale up this ability to do training and inference on AI, they're basically going to fall behind and just get obliterated. So they're in this death race now, almost. And all this money's pouring in, but it's not totally sure or played out who is going to actually win, if anyone wins.
Is that wave 1 then?
That's wave 1. Now, all the money always is first there. You see this, right? But then think about this. AOL is nowhere to be seen. Netscape is nowhere to be seen. Standard Oil is nowhere to be seen today. Wave 2 is when you think about when the large, giant institutions, I'd say, in society start to make use of this. Think about this with computing. NASA uses computers to figure out how to get the Saturn V up into orbit. That's an example of compute in wave 2. Now you have huge economic benefits that are accruing to society, huge amount of jobs being created, and a massive amount of effort being deployed for practical reasons. So the infrastructure gives
by the really big companies.
So wave 1, which has a very large economic impact, gives way to wave 2, which is the institutions start to come and get involved.
Figure out how to use what was built.
Early days of the internet, think about discount brokerage started to show up, right? And started to make use of this, right? The finance companies, the healthcare networks, right? Suddenly, the big players that can bring big CapEx budgets become involved and start to use it because they also have the research and the resources to figure out how to use it. They can throw hundreds and thousands of employees at this problem to say, figure out how to use it.
And that's wave 2.
That's wave 2. But everyone misses wave 3. And this is why, we can't, coyly named our company Wave 3, which is this thing that happens. No one saw it coming in the early days of the computer. That 2 dudes named Steve were going to hang out in a garage and build Apple Computer Company. In fact, even then, no one saw the iPhone coming.
No, even
But
nobody.
the economic benefits that have accrued to society, I mean, that's a computer that's recording us now. Everything we do is computers, and we never saw all this coming.
So then what is the wave 3? Where does that
Wave
term
3
come
is
from?
when the rest of us, when the rest of the companies, when
non-big,
Main
big
Street
companies,
company, when Main Street, you, me, start to be able to do whatever we do better. We can build whatever we build faster. We can do it with less time. We can do the things we couldn't get around to.
And we innovate like crazy.
And that's the thing, that the massive amount of economic benefit that no one is always underestimated. It's always underestimated. The third wave that comes in every technological revolution, which is that when this makes its way into civilization,
The
whatever it is,
general
right?
population or whatever. General marketplace.
I heard somebody way smarter than I say this. He said, on this topic, he said, do not bet against the indomitable entrepreneurial spirit of humanity. And I think that for us, certainly that's the journey I'm on, to try and help people find their way on this journey. But I think that the thing that people need to understand is the third wave is just nascently beginning. And so this is the worst it's ever gonna get in the technology. This is the clunkiest it's ever gonna get.
So the wave 1 would be this CapEx super cycle, pouring money in to build these databases, figuring out kind of, like you said, showing up in big companies and not being able to
and maybe
explain
it pays off. Maybe it
not.
doesn't.
Wave 2 then is big companies grabbing hold of this and figuring out how to turn it into money.
Yeah.
And wave 3 becomes all the people who are going to be at this thing on June 2nd, figuring out how are we going to use it to create competitive advantage in ours.
Yeah, I think that people need to think, they don't need to figure out who's going to be the winner amongst Google and OpenAI and Anthropic, or whoever comes next, by the way. There will be others, right? They just need to understand that these people are building things that the institutions are starting to use, right? You're starting to see Goldman Sachs has Anthropic engineers embedded in their company now, helping them figure out how to do what they do, right? So this is starting to happen, and you see the military starting to use this type of stuff. That's wave 2. This is and by the way, is just getting going. Right? And so there is so much opportunity ahead, but the people that get around this early, I'm not a big doomsdayer that if you don't do this, your company's obliterated in 18 months. But the companies that get around this, that start to build strategy around it, that get real clear about what is it that we do that really matters? What is it that makes us us?
And how can AI?
Why do our customers use us than the next best option? And then they get really focused on how do they get better at that? How do they use AI where appropriate? And how do they have a continuous system of learning? That's the other thing.
Okay.
What you figure out today is good for today, but you'll need to figure out what comes tomorrow, when tomorrow comes.
Yeah, those are kind of those things we're planning on talking about.
But I'm wildly optimistic. That's I think the main thing that if anyone would have a takeaway, that there's always so much concern early on. And to be fair, this is the first time we have a tool that can move laterally. There was always kind of disruptions in certain sectors. With the cotton gin, if that wasn't really the thing you did, you were maybe safe. This is the first time we have tools that can kind of move laterally.
Move to wherever you are.
But I still think that even creates more power. Everyone has a to-do list.
How do we get that?
Every organization has a to-do list. And
So-
you know what? We never get around because we don't have enough time yet.
We're going to come talk about this on June 2nd. You're going to learn what a way forward is for you. You're going to meet some people who love Jesus and are interested in implementing this technology in a way. And you're going to hear Matt kind of expound further on this.
Yeah,
So thank
we'll
you,
think
Matt.
about
Appreciate it.
how can we do it practically. We don't have the answers, but we'll find our way.
Yeah, we're going to have a better way forward out as a
How about
result.
that? Yeah.
Okay, good.